we are actually building an auth and tool calling stack for AI apps. I think very quickly, a quick poll, like specifically anyone building remote MCP servers, not just MCP, and anyone building agents in production, not just dev mode. Thank you. I think we are seeing this huge transition where let's take an organization which has sales reps, like using their CRM apps on the browser. There's a current use case where we all access it using Safari or Chrome. We give identity providers like Okta, like our credentials, and put the Microsoft Enter ID and all that, right? So this is a classic one. This world is shifting very quickly into how the sales reps are actually relying on agents to actually perform their daily activities. They may be actually invoking the CRM servers in production through MCP. They also may be actually calling out, I know the image is cutting out, the productivity apps like Gmail, Calendar, Notion, and all that stuff, right? So this is the new world that we're going through. So obviously we are building like dev tool. Developers are either building MCP servers remotely because that's where most of the services are being accessed over HTTP, or we're building agents in production, right? So when our agent actually gets deployed in the customer context, it makes meaningful sense only when it works with some of the other business systems that they have, like HubSpot, Notion, etc. By itself, agent can't do most of the business workflow activity, right? So what we'll quickly go through is how we have two solutions. So one for developers building MCP and another for developers building agents. So for MCP developers, I think auth is not baked in automatically. There's a lot of ongoing discussion, developers building remote, like how do I add auth and the entire security layer to MCP servers. There are two key roles. I think one is the authorization server, which actually issues tokens and verifies identities. The other is the MCP server itself. So that's the business logic, and we actually are offering the authorization server for the developers building MCP. It's fully baked in into the MCP spec, which includes the OAuth 2.1, which is the most recommended according to the spec. Agents are ephemeral clients, so you need dynamic client registration because they're not pre-registering them with client ID, secret, and all that stuff. I think Mira touched upon user auth. So agents need to work along the context of Okta, Enter ID, and all that because that's where most of the user auth is, right? So this is our first solution for developers building remote MCP servers to add like an auth layer. But today what we're demoing is actually for developers building agents, which are especially the production agents, right? I think Hatcher also talked about how it's so hard to build production-ready agents. I mean, demos are easy. I think let's look at an example. If there's a sales agent being actually deployed and 50 reps are actually using it, right? As a rep, I just want to send a very simple prompt. Hey, follow up with my prospects from this week, right? I mean, they don't want to go through all the hassle of figuring out who did I actually talk to this week, who are my prospects, how do I reach out to them. Now the agent is expected to take the context of the rep. Hey, Mark has prospect 1, 2, 3, whereas John has prospect 4, 5, 6. So you need to figure out which user is actually asking this query, and the agent has to run on behalf of the user, right? So you need the delegated consent to come in. Again, Mira touched on token vault, so we actually have the token vault also baked in into the overall solution of how the agents are being deployed in production. So this is an example of how the developer needs to take care of refresh tokens, actual tool definitions, API execution, and all that. We are packaging, sorry, it's getting cut down and we're actually packaging 4 constructs. One is the token vault, the OAuth consent orchestrator, the tool calling, and also the actual API execution, right? I'm just doing this because it's getting cut out. So it's a single SDK, which we are launching next week. So this will be like the middleware between the agent and your external third-party systems. Let's actually go through like a quick demo of an example agent, like which is probably a LangChain agent that is trying to talk to like a Gmail or a Google Calendar. Before we go there, again, production agents need to work with all the connectors out there. Like if you're using HubSpot, Salesforce, Notion, Slack, whatever, the agent needs to run in the context of the customer environment and needs to talk to all of these. So all these connectors, they're actually pre-baked into the solution. And we actually have the tool definition and the tool metadata layer for all of that, right? So let's take an example. Here, I just want to show you like how probably for a Gmail, let's do like a simple fetch mail. This is like a playground that we are demoing just to give you like the primitive or the building block. Let me fetch the latest email from the Gmail, right? And it'll take me through the OAuth consent because as a user, I need to give the consent for the playground to act on my behalf. Going forward with this. Okay, praying demo gods. Okay. So you will see the latest email actually came in where it says something about the snippet. And so there's one example of the payload, which actually came back, right? Another example could be like a calendar. Let's say I want to do like a list of calendar events. I'll just run the tool in the interest of time. Again, taking me through a user OAuth flow because I need to give the consent. I've given it. So it's actually running. It has listed down like the last 10 events from my calendar. So you'll see how it has the created event. It has all the details like daily meeting, also has like the purpose and story workshop and all that stuff, right? So these are sample 10 events that is actually able to pull from calendar. So with those building blocks, let's actually now move to like an agent, which we actually created on Daytona. So this is a sample agent, which is kind of acting as a proxy to the sales agent we spoke about. So let me just put my, yeah. So I have pre-connected my Gmail and calendar just in the interest of time. So let's say, hey, fetch latest email from Mohit. Agent is trying to talk to, yeah. So the email says, hey, we have a demo call next week with an enterprise customer. Can we actually think about the roadmap, all that, right? So now Mohit likes to catch up tomorrow. So to discuss the roadmap, I would like to find the open slots if I can do like a meeting with him. So it actually went to my Google Calendar. It gave me like the open slots that I have. It was able to figure out, hey, you're free until 1:30 or you have a break until 5 o'clock. So it's actually giving the slots for me as a rep. So I'm saying, okay, let's do 1:30. So hopefully it actually creates. Yeah, the meeting has been scheduled for 1:30. Let's see what happens on the calendar. Yep, so there's a meeting at 1:30. So it's actually able to talk to two tools, like the Google Calendar and also the Gmail. So this is an assistant which got built on the playground of the tools. Like I said, we're building a lot of connectors in the tools to make the agent action study. So just to summarize, we have solutions on both the data provider side and also on the agent side. If you're a developer building MCP, it's an OAuth gateway to support the security. If you're a developer building agent, it's a agent auth and tool calling layer, right? Thank you.